month of October, First Edition brought you several stories featuring women conquering breast cancer, their journeys and resources available to you here in the Coastal Bend to fight back. Our Madeline Salinas introduced us to one Coastal Bend nurse practitioner who saw a need for breast cancer services that were not being provided to women with little to no insurance.
I've known family members, friends who have had breast cancer. And it is a very scary experience because you really don't know where life is going to lead you from there. So whenever I talk to women about women exams, mammograms, all those things, they're like, great, it sounds great, I just can't afford it.
Dr. Cindy Hedrick had been looking for a way to provide women's wellness resources for some time, specifically mammograms for the community, when one of her patients told her about First Friday, an organization that provides free mammograms to patients who are uninsured and between the ages of 35 and 64 years old.
Every year it feels like around this time we always find so many people that don't know about our services, and we want to spread the word. We want people to know, we're out here, and if you need help, we're there.
For the month of October, Coastal Health Solutions has joined forces with First Friday to allow community members without insurance to come in for free mammogram orders. First Friday patient coordinator Tisha Zerby says it means a lot for another organization to step up and help women without insurance detect breast cancer early.
What will happen is I can write the orders through our company, Coastal Health Solutions, and we're offering this as a free service to our local community for people that fit the criteria of First Friday. And then I will get those results. Very simple. We send you a letter in the mail and say, hey, you look good. Or if I see something in the results that concern us, then I help reach you out to other services, and that's when we can do diagnostic mammograms.
Zerbies is also a breast cancer survivor. Just over 6 years ago, she received a routine mammogram screening that saved her life. While getting your first mammogram screening may seem intimidating, she encourages every woman to get one.
A mammogram is not scary. A lot of people are scared that it's going to hurt, or they're scared that they might get diagnosed with breast cancer, but early detection is critical for a woman to have successful treatment.
Breast reconstruction is important for women who have undergone any form of mastectomy. 3 News anchor Alexis Green takes us inside one tattoo parlor that specializes in paramedical tattooing.
It might start to tingle too.
The women who sit down in Gabrielle Graber's chair are fearless, not because they aren't afraid of a needle or a little bit of ink, but because of what they have already overcome to get there.
So I started with the cosmetic side, so eyebrows, eyeliner, lips, freckles, and then morphed into and started getting more into the paramedical side of things. Just seeing how that impacts people kind of made a big impact on me.
That's the owner of Inked by Elle herself, who proudly offers areola restoration along with her other permanent makeup services.
When I first started, I didn't have any formal training in that. I just kind of picked up my machine. I'm like, well, let me see what I can do.
The restoration is 3D tattoo art for women who have undergone a mastectomy.
I was shocked at what I produced, and my mentor was shocked at what I produced. So it was kind of just like, okay, that's my path.
And hundreds of women across the Coastal Bend in Texas are glad she did.
Just to be complete is the main reason. A feeling of wholeness in my life.
Graber says that's the reason why she offers this service completely free.
I had someone bring to me their printout of what it would have cost, and it was like $10,000.
Graber adds areola restoration serves as a symbol that a client is at the end of their journey with breast cancer.
They've been through so much, and I feel like when you've gone through all of that, you come out a different person. And so really the areola tattooing is also representative of them being this new person, and so it's kind of just like they're embracing their womanhood.
I'm going to do it, for sure. It's something that I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Next up, I had the honor of sitting down with one traveling dental technician whose life was turned upside down after a mammogram revealed cancer. She had a very tough decision to make with her family moving forward.
Grow up and you don't think, I'm going to have all these big events in my life. I'm going to get a career. I'm going to get married. I'm going to have children. No one ever says, I'm going to catch cancer and it's going to completely change my life.
Jenna Chapman is a traveling dental hygienist, wife to a Corpus Christi firefighter, and mother to 4-year-old Tanner. In July of 2024, healthy, active, and full of life Chapman was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer.
They confirmed I did have a mass, and they also said I had an enlarged lymph node.
What was going through your head and how did you feel?
In that moment, my world was over. In my head, all I could think about was, I have a 4-year-old.
How do you feel about the qualifications, how you have to be at least 40 to get checked?
The assumption is you're young, you're healthy, you're fine. And it's ironic because it doesn't matter how healthy you are, cancer doesn't discriminate against you.
After sharing the life-changing news with her husband, they both agreed there was only one option.
For me, the only option was to fight through this and get through it because I don't have another alternative. I have a 4-year-old I'm living for.
And Chapman's game plan took motion. 4 rounds of chemo in, 2 more rounds to go, and currently battling through her new norm.
I'm on the road every 3 weeks for treatment, and I stay in Austin. Treatment's at 8 a.m., and I spend all day in a chair in the infusion center.
Chapman has a huge support system consisting of family and friends, but her 2 biggest supporters are her husband and her son.
They pick up all the slack that I can't. Tanner tucked me in because I don't feel very good today and giving me one of his stuffies and saying, "It's okay, Mommy, just rest."
Chapman's breast cancer journey is far from over.
I will be also in a medical menopause for the next 10 years, so I'll be medicated for that because the cancer I have is HER2 positive and it's fueled by estrogen. So part of treatment is let's turn off your hormones so that we're not feeding the cancer.
What do you want other women to take away from your story and your experience?
You can get through this because the alternative is not an option.
Don Thomas had a chance to visit with one woman who was diagnosed with breast cancer back in the 80s, and she thought she was free of the disease until it popped up again recently in a mammogram.
Now, this would be an efficiency apartment, but they decided to use it as our office.
When Elizabeth Harden is not spending her days helping seniors find affordable housing at Conoya Homes off of Ocean Drive, she's raising breast cancer awareness.
I prayed about it and I had such a peace.
She's a breast cancer warrior whose story is in 2 parts. At age 36 in the mid-80s, Harden noticed a lump on her left breast. It was cancer.
I felt like I was a person walking around with a C on my head or chest or something because cancer really wasn't widely understood. We don't barely understand it now, but then it was even less.
After a lumpectomy, removal of 22 lymph nodes, and a heavy dose of radiation, Harden thought she was in the clear. She would spend the next 33 years advocating for early detection before it was truly a battle cry.
What scares me the most is the not knowing, the unknown.
What was not known to her, 3 decades later, her lumpectomy did not clear the margins.
My second reoccurrence was in the same breast and about 1.5 inches, 2 inches from the first site. So it was that close.
Because she received such a large dose of radiation in the 80s, she was not eligible for that now.
Heavy-duty chemo. And then I had 12 weeks of regular chemo.
That was 2021. Today, Harden is much better, but cannot say she is completely cancer-free. She has triple-negative breast cancer, considered more aggressive than any other form of the disease with a higher reoccurrence. But that is not keeping her from moving forward. Through faith, friends, her puppies, and advocacy, she is encouraging all women to do their monthly exams and yearly mammograms.
First Edition is seeing more and more statistics showing breast cancer popping up earlier and earlier in women. Lexus met with one woman diagnosed in her early 20s and how her journey was even more complicated because she found out during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Ashlyn Gomez was only 23 years young when she received the news from her doctor in June of 2020 that she was positive with stage 2 breast cancer.
I was in shock. I basically froze. I was just like, wait, what did you say? And he said, well, you have stage 2 breast cancer.
Gomez says that call was just a small foreshadowing in how her treatment would go, being that it was during a global pandemic. Another struggle she faced was fighting with insurance to get her on the proper treatment plan since she was diagnosed early and young.
Just like, you know what, you're not going to tell me no. I stayed persistent, but I made sure every day I called because I knew that something was wrong.
On the morning she was set to begin chemotherapy, she got another earth-shattering call that would change everything.
Within 1 week, it went ahead from stage 2 to stage 3, and it went to triple-negative breast cancer.
Through genetic testing, Gomez learned that she carries the BRCA1 mutation. She would also learn that her mother and 21-year-old sister were positive with the gene as well. Her mom was diagnosed with cancer on January 27th, the day that Ashlyn learned that she was cancer-free.
The same cancer, triple-negative breast cancer, stage 3, but with her, she had 6 months less than remission, and she developed leptomeningeal disease.
Her message to young women listening:
You're the only one who knows your body, and I would say to fight for your health, fight for your rights. Age has no limits in regards to cancer. You know, the earliest that I know that has breast cancer is 15.
She credits her strength to her Pink Diva support system, who have been her rock despite what cancer has taken away from her. Ashlyn is now 4 years in remission.
As we close out the month, we visited with 2 Coastal Bend teachers who were drawing inspiration from their main support system, their students. The first was a beloved swim coach diving headfirst into breast cancer.
You are not going to find a louder battle cry to end breast cancer than right here at the Vets Memorial Pink Out Rally. At the center of the Sea of Pink is Jessica Blair, an environmental science teacher and a breast cancer survivor.
I fall into about 2% of the people that have the type that I do.
Her school knows her battle, her students know her fight. Blair was diagnosed summer 2023 with triple positive breast cancer, right on the verge of turning 32.
I had to have a full radical double mastectomy and reconstruction, and then I had to have multiple rounds of chemotherapy, and then I had to do immunotherapy infusions for a full year.
And a unique twist, her mother was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer last spring. She just wrapped up treatment and rang the bell the morning we met with her daughter via video chat.
I am very blessed to have an amazing mom. And she was so supportive for me when I was diagnosed, and then having to turn around and support her was not something I would wish on any kid, to watch her mom go through that.
If you haven't gathered by now, having a strong support system at home is vital, and at work.
The biggest thing that I hope my students get is to just, you can find joy in anything.
Apparently her students agree. Blair got to hand out the Spirit Stick on this very special day to the class with the most cheer.
I love my students, I love what I teach, and I love what I do.
How has breast cancer affected your life?
Every day is special. Each day I get up, I think, wow, I made it another day.
Myra Nelson is a wife, mother to 3 kids, and beloved swim coach at Incarnate Word Academy. In December of 2024, 6 days before Christmas, she received a shocking phone call that changed her life forever.
And they called and said that they got the results back of the biopsy and it was positive, and that I needed to see my doctor right away. He's recommended that I go to MD Anderson. And after they repeated all the tests, instead of finding 1 tumor, they found 3.
Nelson's next challenge was telling her kids. What was their reaction?
Shock. Told him after Christmas dinner. My oldest and youngest just sat there. My middle one started crying.
Nelson knew gathering a big support system was a crucial part of her journey, so she turned to her other kids, her swim team, and school family, where she found
100% support.
Armed with the support of her immediate family and an army of IWA angels, Coach Mick, as her students call her, was ready for battle.
They did a lumpectomy with a reconstruction on the cancer side and a reduction on the non-cancer side. And then I went up for radiation therapy. I didn't need chemo, I was lucky there. I had 5 days of 5 massive doses.
She became a breast cancer warrior, fighting while still coaching and keeping her daily routine.
I get up about 5 a.m. I'm here at the pool at 6, trying to coax them into the water at 6:15. We swim until 8. I go to school, sit and watch the kids in first period.
What is your current situation right now?
I'm on estrogen therapy for 5 years. As of right now, I'm supposed to be cancer-free.
And your advice for others that are going through this right now?
Try not to keep it a secret. You can't hold this in.